What's good, YouTube, man? It is your boy Solid back with another solid reaction, baby. And today we got Kevin Durant is going out sad. Now, Kevin Durant, I consider going out sad because, bro, how you do all this stuff, talk all this trash about, oh, we're going to be better than the Warriors, whoop-de-whooping all this, bro. And then you lead the Warriors, you get on Brooklyn Nets, bro. You have a class team that I honestly thought was better than the Warriors. I'm talking about you had Kyrie, you had James Harden, you got, Blake Griffin, Jordan, you had a class of team that I was like, yo, this team is like, I thought LeBron James made super teams, but KD, you gave me something I ain't never seen. That was like a super team or whatever the case may be. But you had a class of teams. I was like, yo, this team is instantly a playoff, instantly finals team, and you did not live up to it. And now you want to leave. So now I'm about to sit here and we're gonna make fun of you, bro. Whatever he's saying, I'm gonna clown on you because you had a great team. The Brooklyn is still good. Without James Harden, without Kyrie, you still could win. With Westbrook, bro, I honestly feel if you and Westbrook clash back together in the East, it's a done deal. Y'all can walk that. The reason why y'all couldn't walk it over there is because you had the Splash Sisters, brothers. But you know, them boys is crazy. You got Phoenix. Them boys is crazy. You got who else is on that side? You had the Spurs. No, not the Spurs. Was the Spurs on? No. What's the name is on that side? Damn. That's on the tip of my tongue. And it's not coming to me, but it'll come to me in a second. They over there too, but they ended everybody up. The Lakers, the whole nine, bro. Like, come over here. Yeah, LeBron James had a dog walk. Win over here. Prove. Come on, man. But, man, we're going to go ahead and check this video out, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're new to the channel, man. And leave me a like, man. It don't cost you nothing, and it's just right there. It's right there. 2 seconds. Click the mother. It's right there. You feel what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get into this one.
So the league looks at this situation, sees how much of a mess it is, and says, we don't need to offer the Nets the sun, the moons, and the stars for Kevin Durant because this is too ugly. Like, there's no reason for us to up our offer right now. This is just going on and on and on for forever and ever and ever.
I had a feeling that it was going to get to this point for the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, after everything we've seen so far, I'm not really surprised that Kevin Durant is choosing this route. Now, do I think it's the right move for his career? Do I think he's full of it? Do I think he's actually going to follow through? That's a different question. Now, before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. If you want shorter versions of this content, make sure you follow me on my Instagram or TikTok at the Flight Mike for both. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro.
All right, here we go.
Everybody, the last time we covered the Brooklyn Nets saga, it started getting very, very toxic. So for those of you guys that don't remember, the most important part of this storyline was when Kevin Durant met with Joe Tsai, who is the Brooklyn Nets owner, and told him point blank to his face that he wants him to fire Steve Nash and Sean Marks. In a face-to-face meeting with Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai over the weekend, All-NBA star Kevin Durant reiterated his trade request and informed Tsai that he needs to choose between Durant or the pairing of general manager Sean Marks and coach Steve Nash. Sources with direct knowledge of the meeting tell The Athletic. Durant stated that he does not have faith in the team's direction, sources said.
Mike, you started your last 2 videos with this.
Trust me, this is really important information because now we're starting to begin to see Kevin Durant completely losing all of his leverage. Now, I said this from the very moment Kevin Durant demanded a trade. He's going to be kind of shocked in regards to what kind of offers are going to be available for him. I mean, he's demanding a trade to the Miami Heat and, of course, the Phoenix Suns, but what could the Miami Heat or the Phoenix Suns give up in order to get Kevin Durant that would make the Brooklyn Nets say yes? On top of that, Kevin Durant is already locked in on a 4-year, $198 million contract extension, so his hands are essentially tied in this situation. And something that really bothers me the most is right before Kevin Durant made this trade demand, the Brooklyn Nets went ahead and traded for Royce O'Neal, which I thought was a great trade. They signed TJ Warren, which I thought was a great pickup, especially if we happen to find ourselves in a bubble again. You pretty much have Michaeljordan on your team. But the fallout of this is really interesting because we're in an era where player impact empowerment has been completely taking over the league, from James Harden essentially wearing a fat suit and telling the Houston Rockets point blank that he doesn't want to play for them anymore, even as early as Dwight Howard's painfully awkward interview with Stan Van Gundy, where he claimed that he wasn't trying to get him fired when in reality he was trying to get him fired.
Yeah, what's our main concern right now? Jameer.
We have to stop Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks tonight.
And the New York Knicks.
That's exactly
That's
right.
the plan, right?
That is the plan. That's what I just said.
Stan just said that you wanted him fired.
I said that?
Yeah, that's what Stan said.
Who did I say that to?
According to
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I'm asking you.
And I think this is the first time in a very long time where you're seeing Brooklyn Nets ownership, or a team's ownership group, essentially telling a star that, hey, we don't really care how empowered you feel. We don't really care what you say. You're under contract and you play for us. You make $200 million playing for us too. And we're going to listen to what you want, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to hand you everything on a silver platter. Now, what's really funny is Andrew Bogut believes that if Kevin Durant really wants to get out of Brooklyn, all he needs to do is tweet "Free Hong Kong," and that would force owner Joe Tsai to trade him. Which I don't know if Kevin Durant would go that far, but now there's the question of how Kevin Durant is going to handle this situation. There's also the question of what is the latest on Kyrie Irving. So before I get
I think Kyrie's going to get traded, and I think it's for Westbrook. And I think if the Brooklyn decide to keep Westbrook and KD on the same team and let them work out their issues, like literally put them in I guess give them some time by themselves where they can work out their issues. I really wish y'all didn't trade away James Harden. If you didn't trade away James Harden and got rid of Kyrie for Westbrook during that season, during the whole thing, you should have got rid of Kyrie for Westbrook. The Lakers didn't want him. I want to keep that in mind. The Lakers still wouldn't have made the playoffs. They would have lost. The Warriors still would have probably won, but I feel like y'all would have made a better chance on that side with all three of y'all together. Back in better Oklahoma City, once again, riding out James Harden, Westbrook, KD. It's madness. I think the Brooklyn Nets would have done so much better with that setup than the Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. I don't think James Harden ever fit with Kyrie. I think KD and James Harden fit perfect. But Kyrie is not that. Kyrie is very off the wall. Like, not off the wall. He's himself. He's not going to let anybody influence himself. So whatever he is, when he say he not showing, he ain't going to show. When he say he not doing something, he's not going to do it. That's Kyrie. He don't care about the betterment of the team. And that's why he works good with LeBron James, because LeBron James cares about the betterment of the team. So Kyrie can do that extra shit, and you still got LeBron James to hold you up. But when there's players that need each other to kind of validate each other, to kind of help each other, Kyrie's not good. Kyrie is not good in that situation. So with me saying that, I think that's what should have happened. If you would have kept James Harden, I still think Westbrook and KD can do it themselves, but I would have died to love to see those three play on the same court again on the same team.
Durant might do, and believe me, we have very credible insiders saying that he
just think about it. KD and James Harden spread the floor so much for Westbrook. They spread the floor a lot for Westbrook, and Westbrook can slash to the lane, which means you got to close in that defense. And once you close in that defense, guess what? KD and James Harden can light you up from distance, bro, with some heat. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
Consider holding out, or he might consider something
that's a bad front court. Back court.
Let me tell you what Kyrie Irving's currently dealing with. So about 4 days ago, and I didn't bring you guys a video on this because I don't like bringing you guys content if I feel like it's a hot steaming load of crap. But since I'm bringing you guys a KD and Kyrie update, I could just throw this in here and tell you why it just sounds like
he's shifty.
This is coming to us from none other than Rick Bucher. So Rick Bucher apparently was told that Kyrie Irving wanted his new contract to guarantee that he wouldn't have to play more than 60 games in a season and would not have to play any back-to-backs. Which, come on, man. I mean, look, there's times where I'll have empirical evidence to prove why.
Why would you not want to play back-to-backs? That's just me. Why would I not want to play back-to-backs? Maybe I can understand the whole 60 game thing because sometimes Kyrie has mental issues, so sometimes he just want to be, left alone. But the back-to-backs, I don't know about that, bro. If I'm already on the plane with the team and we already heading that way, why not go? Like, you get what I'm saying? Maybe I'm different.
BS. In this instance, man, if Kyrie Irving just wanted to play 60 games in a season, he would just sign his contract and then he would take time off during the season. He's done it before. I mean, he's taken personal time off. The Brooklyn Nets have been very receptive to that. This past year, he's also taken time off due to the vaccine stuff. In his first season, he had no choice but to take time off because while he was injured and Kevin Durant wasn't really playing, so he understood that the Brooklyn Nets weren't necessarily the most competitive. It is so unreasonable to think that Kyrie Irving would include in his contract that he only has to play in 60 games in a season and wouldn't need to play any back-to-backs. And here's the best part. Kyrie Irving even responded to this tweet with this incredible gif of a baseball player holding up a cap. And then Kyrie Irving hit us with some deep thoughts on his Twitter account saying, when you're ready to break free from the media's control over your subconscious thoughts and emotions, meet me on one of my platforms and let's chop it up. We, the A11 Even Tribe, love our conversations about the truth and what is truly happening. Welcome to the paradigm shift. And to be honest, man, although I think the delivery of the message was unique in a very Kyrie Irving way, the dude's right. This is clearly an attempt to lay into the narrative of Kyrie Irving's personality that he doesn't really care about the game of basketball, and they're pretty much flanderizing Kyrie Irving in this instance.
I like how he does that.
This report saying that he doesn't have to play more than 60 games in a season. So I thought it was BS from the moment I read it. I didn't even need Kyrie Irving to tell me it. And let's transition back to Kevin Durant real quick, because now there's the question of, it's been 10 days since the last time we heard any update in regards to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. So what on earth are they going to do in this point? Well, Kevin Durant has remained quiet up until now, and this is coming to us from none other than the MVP of the offseason, probably the insider of the offseason, Brian Windhorst, who said nothing has changed with Kevin Durant's trade request from the Brooklyn Nets. Windhorst also added that Kevin Durant has no leverage with his request to leave the Brooklyn Nets. 10 days ago, Kevin Durant and Joe Tsai met in London. Durant really tried to apply the pressure by asking for Steve Nash and Sean Marks to get fired, which is always just going to drive me crazy because Steve Nash was the guy that Kevin Durant handpicked. Now back to Windy, and guess what happened? Nothing has happened. The dynamic around Kevin Durant hasn't changed at all. There hasn't been an urgency in trade talks. There hasn't been a change in strategy by the Brooklyn Nets. Windhorst went on to say that the Nets aren't coming off asking for a big return for Durant in a trade, and that Brooklyn has no leverage with other teams, same as Durant has no leverage with the Brooklyn Nets. And this is where I really just have appreciation, because I'm personally a huge business nerd, and I just love the fact that this is being acknowledged. What Windy says is that I think what we have here...
You know what? Look, this just hit me, bro, while I'm sitting here thinking about this. You know, if I'm Brooklyn, I would trade, and I think the only team who would take it would be the Grizzlies. So that's what I'm saying. I would trade KD for Ja. You don't like. Let me understand why I'm saying that. If I'm Brooklyn, and I know I'm about to lose Kyrie, I just lost James Harden. I'm about to lose KD. I have somewhat of a Ben Simmons, I guess you could say, somewhat of a Ben Simmons. I think it's time for me to go on the rebuilding stage. So I'm trading away all of my major big assets. So DeAndre Jordan. Well, I think DeAndre Jordan already left. So we would have Blake Griffin. I'm trading away him for maybe like some role players and a second round pick. I'm gonna take that, okay, and then I'm gonna, the other ones I'm gonna do the same thing, because there's a lot of veterans on that Brooklyn team. So we're gonna get rid of all of these guys, and then we're gonna get little bench players. I don't want your starters. I want your bench players and some first and some second round picks here and there. Boom, 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 and I'm gonna take Ja Morant. Boom. I'm going to use Ja Morant that first year. Hey, Ja, look, this is the deal. We're not making the playoffs. I just need you to sell tickets. And once you sell these tickets, next year, I promise you, we will make a play for the playoffs. Boom. I'm putting everybody, I want to keep in mind, I want these contracts to be 1 to 2 year contracts, because once it comes up to it, it's going to be, everything must go. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to keep Ja Morant. Boom. Next year, I'm going to pick up this person, maybe 2 or 3 people from the draft. I want 3 people at least from the draft. Now, with all of these openings coming up, I'm going to look, I think coming on the, what's the name? We've got Jimmy Butler's contract is almost done. I think he has a year left or 2. We got Jimmy Butler. We've got I think Klay signed that extension. Draymond Green would have been this year, so I would have got rid. I would have took Draymond Green. Boom, let me get Draymond Green. You know, Kyrie, those two together, and I'm looking for me a decent big man. Okay, now who isn't dominant, but we can get something with it. Rudy Gobert. Boom, let me snatch Rudy Gobert. Boom, I'm taking the little bitty steps to get Ja the things he needs to win. Now I done got all of this. Now I just need good shooters. Now I'm going to trade. I don't know why they even traded him away. Seth. I would keep Seth Curry, put him back on there. Boom. Now you have a shooter with a slasher. You got everything you need. They all play great defense. It's not about that. We're going to win these games. We're on this side. Now, I'm not going to expect us to win 1 or 2 years, but if Josh sticks with us and he lets me draft the people that we need to draft, that I feel he needs, we're going to win a game. We're going to win this. And the whole waste of KD's whole career is going to go to Kampu. Think about it. I'm going to send him to the one team that really doesn't have anything that can help him. It helps Ja because Ja is a show. He's not about, I'm not saying he don't want to win. He does want to win. But if you want to win, you put Ja in. You feel what I'm saying? KD is not going to do the same things that Ja does. So I'm putting him on an island by himself. His whole career is kaput, bro, at that point. So that's what I would say I would do. But, I mean, who knows, man?
Is really
That's me.
Study of leverage. First off, the Nets do not have leverage in trade talks with other teams. They're not giving them the offers that they want. They see no reason to increase them, so they're not making any progress there. Kevin Durant clearly does not have leverage with the Brooklyn Nets. He is asking for things. Get me traded. Fire the coach. Fire the GM. He's being told no. So when you have denied leverage, you have a stalemate. So obviously, this isn't what Kevin Durant wanted, and Kevin Durant always gets what he wants. So how is Kevin Durant going to deal with the fact that he asked for a trade, but he's probably not going to get traded?
I just feel like,
with all due respect,
I feel like do it one at a time. Hey, let's get rid of this GM of ours. Let's get a new GM. I can work with Steve Nash for another year or two. Let's get rid of him, and I can prove to you why neither one of them are good. You get what I'm saying? Like, let me do that. That would be good leverage for KD. Don't get rid of both of them at once, because that's a lot of cap. You just, think about it. What is Steve Nash's salary? Maybe $40 million for 5 or 6 years. And then you got the general manager who probably makes twice, maybe 3 times as that, because he got other things to worry about, not just the team. Like, yeah.
Golden State Warriors aren't going to trade you Jonathan Kuminga, Jordan Poole. They can't trade you Andrew Wiggins, and
no,
they're not going to trade you James Wiseman either,
no.
Especially,
do not trade Andrew Wiggins. He is good where he is at. I love having Andrew Wiggins on the Warriors. He's good. Don't do that.
A disgruntled star in his mid-30s who is 2 years removed from an Achilles tear on a maximum contract. No team is going to do that. And the Brooklyn Nets are probably not even going to try. If there's not that much of a demand for Durant's services and they're not seeing the value that they view Kevin Durant as, then they're not going to trade KD. So what is Kevin Durant going to do? Well,
he got to sit.
The first option is the least likely option in my opinion. But I'll bring it to you guys anyways. I don't think it'll go here because I think Kevin Durant is really obsessed with just maintaining his legacy at this point. And that's according to Mark Stein, one team executive believes that Kevin Durant is more probable to retire than play again for the Brooklyn Nets. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I
mean, Kevin
don't.
Durant only has a handful of years left. So I don't think this is a situation
I don't think
where
he would
Kevin
do that.
Durant is going to retire. And I figured this is a good time to add this part in because
I mean, it
while
would be
was
smart,
editing
but
this video,
no.
Kevin Durant tweeted that I know most people will believe unnamed sources over me, but if there's anyone out there that'll listen, I don't plan on retiring anytime soon. Shit is comical at this point. But what I think is more likely to happen is ironically what happened with the player that the Brooklyn Nets acquired last year.
Ben Simmons. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Is Kevin Durant is headed towards a holdout, and this is coming to us again from Brian Windhorst. It opens up with the fact that KD didn't back off of his trade request during a recent meeting with Brooklyn Nets owner Joe Tsai. That meeting may have also been Kevin Durant's last interaction with the Nets for a while. Once considered unlikely, it's now believed that Kevin Durant is heading towards holding out if he's not traded. Many believe Kevin Durant's love of basketball would have him in camp, but his insistence that he be traded now seems to be leading towards a holdout.
I can understand that.
To the financial aspect of this, can I just say how ridiculous this sounds? I mean, the Brooklyn Nets on paper have a team that could compete this year.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, the Brooklyn Nets are not trash. They have a team that looks amazing on paper. So why isn't KD wanting to stay? I'll be like, all right, y'all want to leave? Go. Kyrie, you want to go? Go, bro. James Harden, go, bro. I'm not going to hold that against y'all. Go. When I win here and I am the face of the franchise, and nobody will be able to say what I say to LeBron. Oh, you won because of D-Wade. Oh, you won because of Kyrie. This way, he can honestly prove that he's better than LeBron James. Win by yourself. Win by yourself. And nobody will say anything to you.
Year. I mean, without a doubt,
that's just facts.
This melodrama carrying into the regular season would be so unfortunate because one,
I would go get Melo.
Opportunity to compete, and two, Kevin Durant isn't getting any younger, man. I mean,
that's just facts.
Looking at LeBron James putting up insane statistics during his age 37 season, and I don't think it's fair to expect that from Kevin Durant as well. The longevity that KD has had already is incredibly impressive. We don't know how sustainable this level of production is. I mean, you're talking about a man that was literally playing 48-minute games during the playoffs the last year. I don't know how many more good years KD has left in the tank. I hope he has the longevity of LeBron James because he's great, and I love seeing great players stay great for as long as possible, but you don't know that. You might be wondering how this affects KD financially, and apparently Kevin Durant was reportedly paid 25% of his 2022 to 2023 salary on July 1st, with another 25% due on October 1st. However, should he hold out, Durant will likely be fined the maximum amount for any time missed, which is what I'm expecting, man. The Brooklyn Nets have been so ruthless at this point when it comes to punishing their stars. Look, I'm gonna be honest, the only team that I really think could potentially trade for KD at this point that has the pieces to do so, that I think it would be worth it.
Please say the freaking Grizzlies is the only person. The Warriors, yeah, I see where it coming from, but the Warriors don't need them. What would they need them for?
For them to do so would be the Philadelphia 76ers.
Philly.
Apparently, Kevin Durant and James Harden are on good terms. There's even this video of Kevin Durant and James Harden practicing together in Barcelona. So I'm guessing James Harden's problem with the Nets was either the way they were running their offense or Kyrie Irving, but that's a different
I think it was Kyrie.
Today. But if the Philadelphia 76ers would be willing to part with players like Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey, which makes my stomach turn a little bit, and Tobias Harris, then they could probably get themselves Kevin Durant. Is that worth it for the Philadelphia 76ers? Well, I'm asking you Sixers fans. Let me know what you think. At the end of the day, I hope Kevin Durant
it's not worth it
this year. This is such
when you threw in Harris, I was like, nope, done.
I mean, it's not your team's fault that they can't find any team that's willing to give the right value for you. I mean, yes, maybe lower your asking price just a little bit, but also you have to understand that the Brooklyn Nets are in a situation where at the very minimum, they need multiple first-round picks if they want to launch into a rebuild. I mean, if they're not able to get themselves,
I don't think you do, man,
5 first-round picks for Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and that's the minimum 5, then it's a huge failure. You can't enter a rebuild without having first-round picks until like 2027. I mean, they do have first-round picks, but they don't have their own first-round picks, and that's gonna really handicap them. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, guys. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike.
All right, man, that's the end of this video, man. I really enjoyed this one, Mike. I'm gonna have to check out some more of your videos, bro, because these were really good. This one was really good. But anyways, yeah, man, I give the rebuilding, but I think you can do it without it. You don't need all those first round picks. We found a lot of good players in the second round, and then you just have to find a player that you can really utilize. Like, and it really comes down to the player and the coach. I don't think how do I say this? The Spurs did it the best. They found players who were not the greatest, but made them work in the offense together where that offense was amazing. So I don't necessarily think that, but I mean, it is possible. But man, thank y'all guys for checking out this video, man. If y'all guys did enjoy this one, man, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you will never miss another solid reaction. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of this one. Peace.